How much is the cost of living in Morocco? Let's break it down, talk about food, transportation, rent, and more. Okay, so Morocco in 2025, your affordable oasis. So if you're dreaming of coming to Morocco to live here specifically, and you want to budget and plan accordingly and see the prices, this video is definitely for you. It's going to be very, very in detail and will give you a good idea of what you can expect to pay while in Morocco. So let's have a look at the first slide. So first things first, many people from the Western world, Europe, America, Canada, they're discovering Morocco as somewhere that's an amazing place to live, that's incredibly cheap and affordable, I should say, and is a great alternative to their home countries, especially when it comes to like retirement or if you are a digital nomad and you're living abroad. So compared to Western countries, rent can be up to 60% lower, even more depending on which city you live in, right? When it comes to food, of course, food is way more affordable, especially fresh local produce like, tomatoes, cucumbers, fruits, and vegetables, basically. And transportation is dirt cheap, especially compared to somewhere like London, where, you know, going on a train can cost more than taking a Ryanair flight to Morocco. So yeah, definitely something to think about. And even if you do have money, just the idea that your money can go further and you can make more use of, your hard-earned cash. So what are the rent realities and where should you call home? So your largest expense will likely be rent, and prices can vary significantly depending on the type of accommodation and the city. If you're thinking of buying a place, then I guess this is not so relevant, but buying is also incredibly affordable. So let's take Casablanca as an example. Okay. So Casablanca, for a one bedroom apartment in the city center, it can be anywhere between 4 to 7,000 dirham. Of course, it can be more, can be slightly less, but this is an estimate for you guys to get a good understanding. For a 3 bedroom apartment outside of the city center, you can expect to pay anywhere between 6 to 12. Really depends what you want, and of course, it varies. Now, Marrakesh, on the other hand, is slightly cheaper, between 3,500 to 6,000 dirham for a 1 bedroom apartment. And for the 3 bedroom apartment outside the city, you can expect to pay 5,000 to 10,000 dirham. Rabat is 3,000 to 5,500. As you can see, you guys can pause. I don't want to bore you. You can pause and look at the video here. So for me personally, I live in this city called Bosniaca. Really nice apartment, 2 bedroom apartment, and 3 pools outside, security, gated community, and it's only 4,700 dirham. Uh, like 2 minutes away from the train station, 5 minutes by car to the beach. Now you can start to see that a place like this in the UK would probably cost me like £3,000 or £4,000 a month. Oh, like that's not exaggeration. With swimming pools and security and all this by the beach and by the train station, it's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. So here, feasting in Morocco, what food expenses can you expect? So when it comes to eating out, the monthly expenses, if you're, there for yourself, going to the local markets, you can expect to pay between 1 to 2,000 dirham. That includes fresh produce, meat, and all your staples. If you're thinking of doing it in the supermarket, that can jump up to 1,500 to 3,000. Okay. It does give you a wider selection of goods and imported goods. So if you're missing some snacks from home, or you just feel like some, Japanese or Chinese food, you can get that at supermarkets. For a family of 4, you can expect to pay between 2,500 to 4,000. On average, just food, I think I pay about 3 to 4,000 dirham for a family of 4. Okay. And I do a lot of shopping at supermarkets on Glovo, actually, because it's just more convenient, which is a bad habit. I guess I could save way more by just going to local supermarket, local producers here. Dining out. So if you're looking to dine out per person, some local eatery, you can expect to pay between 20 to 50 dirham per person. And that's very, very reasonable. That's like £1.50 to £4 per person. A mid-range restaurant is 80 to 150 dirham. And of course, fine dining, 200 to the sky's the limit, fine dining. Tiny little food, empties out your account. Okay, so I hope that gives you a little bit of a better picture when it comes to the cost of food and what to expect. Now let's move over to transportation. So Morocco offers a variety of affordable transport options. Public transport is widely available and budget friendly. So for public trams, etc., you probably pay between 5 to 10 dirham for a monthly pass, 150 to 250 dirham. So if you need to commute daily, then obviously the pass makes sense. Petite taxis, the small taxis, they're for short rides, anywhere between, I would even say sometimes 5 dirham to 25 dirham, depending on where you're going. And always make sure the meter is on. I've yet to get in a taxi where the meter wasn't on, actually once, and he definitely scammed me because he overcharged me. I mean, you could see the guilt on his face. Anyway, yeah, grand taxis are also very economical. So it's basically like if you need to go from, say, Bosnia to Rabat, you only pay something like 25 dirham and you get in a taxi full of other people. And it's an effective, cheap way to get where you want. It's useful if you're by yourself and you just want quick, easy, cheap transportation. Trains, they're very efficient. So for example, from here to Rabat cost about 20 or 25 dirham. Very reasonable and pretty decent, actually. There are delays from time to time, which can be annoying, but generally it's fine. Okay, utilities and staying connected. Okay, they're quite reasonable in Morocco. So for electricity, you can expect to pay between 150 to 400 dirham per person, and it varies on AC use. It's way more for me because in my apartment, they installed an electric shower and it consumes a ton of electricity. So I pay something like 1,000 dirham a month on electricity, including obviously the lights and everything. Water might be 50 to 100 dirham per month, depending on usage. Gas bottles are like 40 to 50 dirham per tank, right? It comes in tanks. There's no direct gas in Morocco. It's not like, you just switch it on, get a bill at the end of the month. You have to buy the tank and install it. And if you don't know how to do it, you need to get someone to show you or do it for the first week or a few times, I should say, for you to obviously understand how to install that gas tank. But yeah, it's 50. It doesn't, if you're using it for cooking, it lasts between 1 or 2 months. If you're using it for showers, it depends on, like in summer, it'll probably last 2 weeks. If you have a family, right? You'll be taking showers daily and yeah, the gas runs out pretty fast for showers. Electricity is way more convenient. You don't have to change anything for showers rather than gas, but it is pricier, I would say. A mobile plan can cost between 50 to 150. I think I paid 50 or 60 and I get something like 10 gigabytes or 5 gigabytes and like a bunch of calls. It's more than enough for my needs. All right. Moving on to entertainment. Now, if you are a fan of entertainment and leisure, then this is important for you. So Morocco does offer a wide variety of entertainment. So obviously the usual cafe, tea and coffee. Don't know if you saw one of my latest videos where I went to a new cafe, very good cafe, an Italian one. You can enjoy something like a mint tea for between 10 to 20 dirham. If you want a small pastry, it'll be like 5 or 10 dirham. The better pastries like the new cafe that I went to, you pay between 20 to 25 dirham for a pastry, but you can taste the difference. I think they use a lot of butter or good stuff. Cinema, movie tickets, between 40 to 70 dirham per ticket. So if you enjoy your movies, you'd need to live in one of the major cities like Tangier, Casablanca, where it's easy to access cinemas and they're not, so obscure. You're not in an obscure place, sorry, like a village where you can't really get that. Museums, something between 10 to 70 dirham. I went to a zoo quite recently, or I should say not quite recently, like 7-8 months ago. And I believe it was like 40 or 50 dirham per person. I cannot remember exactly. You guys can Google it. It's Rabat Zoo. Okay, it was a zoo. Pretty good, nice day out. Exhausting day out. Of course, all the walking and yeah. It's actually quite exhausting and it was hot. And a local hammam can cost you between 20 to 50. A tourist hammam can be 200 dirham plus. Okay. So yeah, you should know your stuff before you move here and basically plan ahead. Healthcare and essentials. There is public healthcare available, especially if you get residency. But if you don't want to pay out of pocket, I suggest you get insurance. A doctor's visit for a private clinic is between 150 to even 400, depending on the situation. Like pregnancy costs more, for example, because there's more checks that are needed. So medications are generally affordable, and there are many common drugs here and way cheaper than Western countries. Sometimes I expect to pay like 100 dirham and they're like, oh, it's 15 dirham. I'm like, oh, okay, good. That's nice. Health insurance varies. You can get it between 500 to 2,000, even cheaper depending on your situation, your status in the country. And residency fees and visa, you can expect to pay, I believe it's like 100 dirham for the application. It's not much. By the way, if you are thinking of moving to Morocco, I do have a service, as many of you know, that help people come to Morocco. And I've partnered with a local lawyer who does all the paperwork, all the headache, any problems, any issues. He goes through hoops, jumps fences, and hopefully get to your residency. Obviously, I will help with all the legwork and the utility setup and the communication and the apartments. And yeah, well, if you are interested in moving to Morocco, definitely check the link or the comments in the description or in the comment section, and book a free consultation call to see if, we can help. And yeah, if we can help, then I'll be glad to. All right. So before we end, this is going to be a massive money saving tip for you to avoid any pitfalls. Okay. So you can easily live affordably in Morocco if you have the right mindset. If you earn a living wage, for example, in the UK, no problem. Morocco is going to be affordable for you. Okay. So one thing is bargain at the souks, because they will charge you European prices or American prices or Canadian prices a lot of the time. So you do have to haggle. And sometimes you need to be willing to walk away, because 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, okay, come here. And then they'll give you the price you requested. So definitely, don't be shy. You have to change your mentality. I was shy in the beginning because haggling is like, no, that's the price. That's what they're offering. But it doesn't work that way here. In the souks, of course. Eat local, street food, local restaurants. Most of it is delicious and cheap. I would say avoid cheap, like pizza places and Italian food. It's not going to be up to your standard. If you're coming from a Western country, it will just be disappointing. Moroccan food, 100% go for it. It's delicious, it's cheap, it's amazing, it's flavorful, and you'll definitely enjoy it. Use public transportation if you're trying to, live here on a budget. It's very affordable. And honestly speaking, even taxis, or like the equivalent of Uber here, is very affordable. You can go like from Bosnia to Rabat for like between 120 to 150 dirham. No problems. And rent smart. Consider properties that are obviously inside your budget and away from the city center. Like I'm in a small town called Bosnia, right? And in Bosnia, it's not like Rabat, but it's 20 minutes away from Rabat, right? Somewhere like this in Rabat would cost me probably double or something like that, in the location right next to the station, maybe more than double. And with swimming pools, with security and stuff like that, I wouldn't be able to get that there. So think about your needs, your budget, and what you actually require. Not everyone needs the same thing. All right. And finally, your Morocco journey awaits, guys. Morocco does offer a very, very incredible quality of life. It has the best of both worlds, in my opinion. So if you're thinking of moving here or making hijrah, it should definitely be on one of your top lists. And it's easy to set up living here. It's not like other countries where there's a lot of prerequisites. Here, you basically just need a police check, the right documents, and a bunch of money to show you can afford to live here. Realistically, what you're looking at for a monthly budget is between 6,000 to 15,000 dirham a month to live comfortably, depending on your city. For families, you're looking between 2 to 5,000 per child, obviously considering schools and activities, etc., on top of the living. So, for example, you could easily get by with $1,000 a month, which is like £800 a month. Include the rent, the food, all that, and you're good. Guys, are you ready to take that leap to come to Morocco? I did, and I don't regret a second of it, and I'm sure you won't. Obviously, nowhere is perfect. It's not a utopia, but you're going to definitely have a good life here, inshallah. Until next time, guys, assalamu alaikum. Guys, if that was useful, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one, inshallah.